This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready? And now, the W with Walls and the Crew. Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. If this is your first time checking us out, we greatly appreciate you making us a part of your Saturday morning. The crew's all back. We are back live in the flesh in the studio. Good morning, everybody.
Morning. We missed you, Q.
Yeah, it was a good week out in LA. It was actually warmer here than it was in LA last week.
Wild. Global warming is crazy.
But it was if you had your wig on and it wasn't tied down, it wasn't very favorable for you. The wind was crazy last week. We had internet issues in here, and it was pretty bad.
Dang, that sucks. Get a chin strap for your wig.
Exactly. Coming up, we have a lot to talk about. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a few seconds.
He ran up. He better.
tuned in to the W with Walls and the crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Back in on the W. Steve, I want to hear your thoughts on Kelce announcing that he's going to host a music festival during the NFL draft.
I'm excited about it. I mean, you get Rick Ross coming, you get MGK, Tech Nine's going to be performing. Only thing that I'm upset about is that it's on a Friday. I wish it was on a Saturday.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it's cool. A lot of people didn't understand like how it all worked, and I dug into it a little bit and sent a message to the guy that's representing Kelce, and he said that the same people that put on Shaq's Funhouse for the Super Bowl put on. You guys are familiar with Sports Illustrated, that whole event that they put on every Super Bowl. Rob Gronkowski's events, his parties, those are the same guys that are putting on Kelce's event.
Q?
I'm still gonna pass on going. I think, and Tech Nine puts on a great show. We know that. Rick Ross is Rick Ross, but then the other two acts,
Mid.
I mean, name two MGK songs.
I couldn't tell you,
Yeah.
honestly.
I can't tell you, but if it's one of my boy Mike's here. If Mike want to do a concert and he's performing, oh yeah, and I got the platform. Come on, man, you can do it. Whatever. I wouldn't care what anybody else thinks. I'm Travis Kelce. Like, I'm gonna put this concert on, and it's like, all right, cool. Super Bowl. I mean, NFL draft. Like, all right, cool. And I'm getting paid a bag.
I think we could have done better than MGK, though.
He could have. He could have. But it's his homie. Why not?
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, he can't please everybody. That's the thing. He brought Rick Ross.
Rick Ross was the diversity hire.
Yeah, he brought Rick Ross. I mean, you can't please everybody, so it's just like, man, it is what it is. And then not only that, but if you think about the dynamic of everything, it's the NFL draft weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Would you consider the NFL draft something that we would travel to, like us as a minority? You think we travel to the NFL draft?
I mean, if it was,
if you give me a percentage of how many black folks that you think travels to the
I
NFL
mean,
draft.
if it was catered to the interest of
My
black
point.
people, maybe.
My point.
Yeah,
It's not
at all.
It's not. So can you say that you're surprised?
I'll be at home.
Yeah. So I mean, what I'm saying is, it's like you gotta cater to who spends the money. There was a concert that was supposed to happen this past week, Future, catering to more black folks. They canceled it because why? People didn't buy tickets.
Because the arena was too big, probably,
and people didn't buy tickets. No matter where it is, I mean it's still Future.
I don't know that. Who said that?
That's the word that they didn't sell tickets. We looked up tickets, and there were a bunch of blue seats that were a bunch of blue. Where the white seats are the seats that's taken. There was a bunch of blue around the arena, and we just don't buy tickets.
But I think that's the awareness too. Like, how much did you see about Future versus how much that we saw about Kenny Chesney, Taylor Swift, those people?
Yeah.
So of course,
and I went to the JID and Smino concert just a couple weeks before it sold out. Yeah, before the date. So I mean, you can't really say it doesn't sell tickets. Yeah. I mean, you have to know your demographic.
My point though, like demographic is for the NFL draft is not us,
and that's probably what happened. But I don't know. I just know I'm skipping this one.
Yeah. I'll be there. Jazz, you gonna meet Rick Ross?
I don't know. I feel like there's gonna be a lot going on. I would be there for Rick Ross, but do you think this is gonna be like the top-notch event? Because I know when we go to Super Bowl, it's like, oh, we are like looking forward to certain ones, right?
Yeah.
Is this one going to be like the top one? I was kind of like, all right, this is the start. This is the tip of the iceberg. Let's see what else comes out.
Yeah. I think you take it for what it's worth. Like, I mean, knowing the company that's doing the production, I mean, you've been to the Sports Illustrated parties. And it's a top-notch production. Shaq's Funhouse, I've heard that's dope. Shaq, he's been doing that for as far as I can remember. Rob Gronkowski's, we see the yacht boat parties, crazy. The other parties that he does. So I mean, it's gonna be an all-out production. And I think I'm excited for it, to be honest.
We'll see. I definitely might make an appearance, but I do want to see what else is on the list for the week. I'm not going to say this is my one like hype moment that I'm excited about.
I might be washing my hair that day.
Now, KU basketball coach Bill Self is 100% positive he will return as KU men's basketball head coach. Steve, your thoughts on this one?
I'm not so sure. I really don't think that Bill is he's saying that right now. I mean, you got to get recruits. You got to get the institution. I mean, they've made enough money, but his body doesn't want to be done. His mind doesn't want to be done, but his body does. I mean, we talked about it. Coaching takes a lot out of you, especially at that high level. And Bill himself isn't one of the coaches that's going to just, at that level, what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to coach in practice and then let the guys do their thing, during the game. But Bill Self coaches day in and day out. And we saw kind of what happened, the toll of stress and the toll of just years of everything, years of buildup, and he had to have a couple of stints put in. And so I think now he's going to think twice about it. At least his family would want him to.
Kill.
Yeah, it sounds like he's all in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the year yet. I think that's definitely a red flag. But even with Andy Reid, we had a couple of the red flags so far, and people thought that was the moment. I think this was like one of Bill's moments, and maybe like a wake up call. But I don't think it's a game changer or game ending.
Yeah, we see Bill. There was a report that he bought oceanfront property or something. Where was it? I can't remember where it was.
Florida.
Or in Florida. You know what that means?
He just wants some time to kick it.
He got 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
He wants some time to kick it if he wants to go somewhere. He's already got it set up.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying. Like,
it might be a fixer-upper, Steve.
Bill's done. Bill's done.
It might be a fixer-upper. He's working on it the next couple of years, so then he can transition.
Okay.
I don't think it's his time yet.
It's time for Bill.
I don't think so. Q's with me on it.
Do you think he finishes his career at KU?
Yeah. I couldn't picture Bill anywhere else.
Yeah,
Does he have a lifetime contract with KU?
I don't know.
Thought so. I just think there's no KU without Bill Self right now.
But the thing about it too is Bill sells a lot of tickets, makes KU a lot of money. When KU needs some funding for something, they send Bill.
Right.
Like, the football program hasn't been it. Baseball, like, he is KU.
Yeah.
As far as sports goes, athletics, it's Bill Self.
Thanks.
So they put Bill Self out there as their spokesman for everything. So to me, he's not going anywhere anytime. I'm talking like if he wanted to stay there, they wouldn't get rid of him. He had to do something crazy.
If he did leave, where would he go, Q?
I don't know.
To Florida.
I don't even. I don't even know what program you would go to after KU to even have those same kind of expectations.
Thanks.
Because Kentucky's not there anymore. The SEC as a whole. I wouldn't say as a whole. I think you got teams that pop up here and there, but as far as programs, I don't know who could stack up to KU. It's not Duke or North Carolina anymore. So
true. Well, LSU is doing something right. Star Angel Reese responds to critics. This is for the girls that look like me. I really liked following this story during the week. She kind of spoke to how Caitlin Clark was doing different things for the attention for the crowd, whatever, talking smack, and she never got anything for it. But if she did anything, it was a problem. So let's hear from the Bayou Barbie first.
I don't know how to feel right now, but we did it. This is for Baltimore. This is for the SEC. This is for everybody that doubted. This was for the girls that look like me that said that they can't do this. Y'all told me to calm it down. Y'all criticized me all year. I'm her. I'm telling y'all, I'm the Bayou Barbie, period. I was critiqued about who I was. The narrative, I don't fit the narrative. I don't fit in the box that y'all want me to be in. I'm too hood, I'm too ghetto. Y'all told me that all year. But when other people do it, y'all don't say nothing. So this was for the girls that look like me that's going to speak up on what they believe in. It's unapologetically you. And that's what I did it for tonight. This was for it was bigger than me tonight. It was bigger than me. Twitter is going to go in a rage every time. And I mean, I'm happy. I feel like I've helped grow women's basketball this year. I'm super happy and excited. So I'm looking forward to celebrating in the next season.
Yes. I really like this one. Like I said, Q, your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's it's a thing that we talk about from a yearly basis. I mean, we talked about it with Serena. We talked about it with Simone Biles and changing rules because she was too good. We know the disrespect that Black athletes and especially Black women face within any level of sport. And Dawn Staley spoke about it. As a coach, she spoke about it just a week before. Of how there's a double standard in just how media personalities talk about Black female athletes, and it's a tale as old as time. And you wish people had a certain awareness all the way up to our to our first lady, right. Jill Biden, not having any awareness. And it's always a way to find some sort of inclusivity when it's Black people. But you know, I don't know if Jill Biden would have had the same all lives matter approach had Iowa won.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, it's all of these unconscious biases and these blind spots, and you hate it for the athletes because they deserve much more respect, and especially for how they bring the women's game along, and popularity. Because I mean, the feistiness, we love to see it.
Facts. And I like that in response to the unconscious behavior, she's just being unapologetically herself. Like, she's not feeling bad. She's not just sitting back and being like, oh yeah, like this is what it's always been. I guess this is what I'm gonna ride with. Like, I like that she's actually using her platform, whether that's really like benefiting her right now or the next person. I think that this was a great platform for her to use, and so many people before have just kept their mouth shut on it. So I like that somebody's finally speaking out on it, especially on a stage like she is, and she's successful. Like, she balled out. So I think rightfully so for her to demand her respects.
My take on it is basketball needs this. If you get what I'm saying, like we talked about, and I've been saying this. People may not like it, but the reason that the WNBA's ratings are not good is because people don't have interest in watching. They have to bring an interest, even though basketball is good. Like, I get that part of it, but you also got to bring some kind of theatrics to it, and you shouldn't have to. But this is the way of the world. People love TikTok. Why? Because it's the theatrics behind it. But I think women in general in sports, they've got to bring, like, I mean, you might want to give a little girl, a woman an elbow or something every now and again. Like, bring a little bit of back and forth to it. And I think something like this is what's needed, because now you just don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah. It's like it's a movie. Like, people go and pay tickets to go and see it, and they want to see the competitiveness and the competitive spirit. So, you know, I mean, I love it.
But on the other side, the biggest critiques are that, it's like she said, she's too hood. She's not woman enough. It's not ladylike for a girl to act that way. So it's a double standard. And that's what's frustrating. It's because men, including yourselves, is pushed for that excitement. But on the other side, the people that are actually in those higher powers and talking about it and on TV are the ones that are saying, the women shouldn't do this. But why is it okay for the men to do it then?
But it's and I get that too. And there will be no progress if something like this didn't happen.
Definitely.
I mean, sometimes somebody has to fall on the sword, and it just happened to be her. But like I said, it was needed, not for the entertainment standpoint, but for that standpoint to bring the awareness behind us, because some people just don't know that that's still going on.
Right.
And so I like I said, it's needed. And I hope that more, not to that aspect, but like more of the, the putting the hand in the face and showing the ring thing, all that. I love it. Just like keep it coming, to be honest, because basketball needs it. Women's basketball needs it, of course.
And my only hope is that it doesn't, like, her light isn't dimmed from inside, because even with the invite from the White House and then her rejecting it in the beginning and then later taking it, like later accepting the invite, right? I just hope that it's not like saving face behind closed doors type stuff. Like, that was the vibes, like, wait, why all of a sudden now is she changing? I wonder what those locker room conversations were. I wonder what the conversation with the athletic director was, because at what point are they going to push it under the rug and be like, okay, this is not the right type of attention that we want?
No, I mean, I think there's a little bit of that too. And I think at the end of the day, Biden is not Trump.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, that's not it. So you still want to be able to experience the White House. Like, that, she may not ever be able to go back to the White House.
Right.
And so I think she took some, because she said that at the height of everything. Like, it was post game, even the next day. I mean, you're still in that, competitive. The adrenaline's still running, and she's like I said, she's competitive. She took Jill Biden's words to heart. Like, how are you going to invite them, Iowa, being Iowa, and invite us too? Like, you wrote us off. You didn't. And I think she took some time and thought about it, and it's like, all right, with a little, nudge from LSU. But I think she, in all honesty, I think she's like okay with it, because she's probably talked to some people that have, like, all right, this probably ain't a situation that you want to get yourself into, being so young in your career.
Q, your thoughts?
And I don't think it was that. I don't think anybody talked to her. I think
they talked to her. They gave her that talk.
I think somebody had to nudge Jill Biden, and that's the sad part. For you to have this doctorate degree, but still have blind spots about racism. It's terrible. And somebody probably had to talk to them, because I mean, Joe Biden is going to want to be reelected. But if your first lady never wants to acknowledge Black champions on the biggest stage for their sport, I mean, that could lose you some votes. And it's just it's just a conversation that we have to keep having, especially when Black people celebrate their own way. It's never the right way. And again, I mean, we saw it with Serena, and how they made these racist cartoon images and things. It just makes a point that there needs to be more diversity in these higher up situations. Whether it be a first lady and the president, there needs to be some diversity there, especially in government. There needs to be a complete overhaul of diversity in media, and who's allowed to speak about these players. So there's sweeping changes that need to be made, and none of it should be placed on the shoulders of Angel Reese, because she hasn't done anything except for win a championship her way. Right. And I love it for her, because if somebody's that disrespectful, yes, I don't want your invitation. And there was no official invitation to Iowa. It was an idea by Jill Biden that was clearly a terrible idea, and somebody had to talk to her and say, hey, no, you're not gonna exclude these Black women just so you could have faces of young women that you're more comfortable with. Right. And you're just gonna have to deal with it. Like, you're gonna have to deal with them coming to the White House, and she's gonna have to shake these young women's hands and look them in the eyes and really explain to them why she messed up that bad. And that all of this takes away from Iowa losing by 17 points. Yeah. Like we shouldn't even be talking about any trash talk or anything. We should be talking about how good of a season this LSU team had. The tournament the tournament was for them. And also Angel Reese averaging a double-double.
Like, she was balling out.
Like, averages a double-double. And then you want to talk about how well this other team played when they got blown out in the national championship game. Like, there should be no mention of them. Like, I don't want to hear anything about anybody on Iowa's team until the season tips off next year.
I don't care. I think, no matter, I get what you're saying, but I think Caitlin Clark is a dog. She is like that deal. Like,
and I think
she. I'm not saying that.
So why do we have to talk so much about Caitlin Clark?
We don't. No. I get it. Like, Angel Reese, she's the best player in college basketball. But as Iowa as a team, like, I don't care what their team is doing. I'm just saying individually, Caitlin Clark, like, she's the real deal. And like, go back to what I was saying before, basketball needs that. They need, because it's been a long time since you had like this real competitive edge in women's basketball. Like, we haven't. I don't remember. I don't know when's the last time. Because you guys remember last time you've seen this kind of competitive back and forth.
Well, with the competitive edge, why does it have to be Caitlin Clark? Oh, this is great, and then the hood Angel Reese. Like, why can't it just be a regular competitive edge? That's the problem. Like, why does it have to be this different spun story, elaborate story that completely ignores, at the end of the day, the stats? Like, that's the reason why they can't have the correct approach to basketball or the correct respect given, is because we have to make this narrative about one or the other. Like, why can't it just be great basketball and two greats playing against each other?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't ask those. I didn't come up with those answers. So I just think that when you look at it as a whole, from 30,000 feet up, right? Like, you see two women that are great at what they do. And sometimes I think the microscope is shined on. I think the microscope is shined on the other things, which is what it shouldn't be shined on. It should be shined on, their athletic ability.
And I think that's the reason why you don't see how competitive the game is. Like, I'm not going to say the women's game just got competitive this year and just got chippy this year. I feel like the women's game has been that. I mean, we could go back as far as Cheryl Swoops. You could look as more recently going back to Skylar Diggins when she played at Notre Dame. There's a lot of different young women that have played the game with this kind of spice behind it. It's just that now these women are the winners. Like, they're the winners, and America didn't want to see that. They didn't want to see this team of Black young women with all the bravado that they have. They wanted them to be humble, and that's the issue. Is always wanting Black people to be humbled, and it's hard to humble these girls when they're winning like this and dominating. And again, I don't want to hear anything about any player on Iowa until they can beat them. So, I mean, it's all about Angel Reese. It's all about, and her teammate. I forget her name, but her teammate that has a rap song. Like, she's got some music behind it as well, and filming it in the locker room. Like, I want to hear more from them, and I want to hear them boast about how good they are, because they put in the work to win the national championship. Like, this is it's just crazy to have this conversation. Congrats to the Lady Tigers.
Absolutely. Now, North Carolina seeks to ban participation trophies for children.
Ban it,
Steve.
Ban them. Like, I tell my son yesterday, I'm like, why are we playing a sport? And he already understands, like, to win. And that doesn't take anything away from the parents who want their kids just to go out there, participate, and have fun. Yeah, you're gonna have fun, but we also gonna win. Like, there's no, oh, well, we almost won, or there's no moral victories. Like, and that's just me as a parent. It's just like, man, I want you to be as competitive as possible. Go out there and also have fun. Like, I'm not taking the fun out of it, but like, we're going out there to win. Like, otherwise, why are we playing? Yeah. Be the best that you can be. Like, yeah, you're gonna have some mistakes. Your team may lose, right? But we're not gonna be accepting the loss. Yeah. If that makes sense. Like we're just not.
How do you not accept the loss?
Not accept the loss, meaning like we're not going to be okay with it. Like you're going to feel the loss. So what I tell my son is like, all right, you guys lost. Why did you lose? How did you lose? What was done on your part that contributed to the loss? If that makes sense. Like what could you have done better? What could the team as a whole have done better to get the win?
And some kids are just out there for physical activity. Like it's
not a sport at that point. It's just an activity.
I mean, yeah,
it's not a sport. So you're not playing a sport. You're playing. You're doing an activity. It's like going out to you're at recess at that point.
Yeah. And I mean, everybody's not into sports and competition like that.
Ban and participate. If you're out there at recess, why do you need a trophy?
It's not a trophy; it's a participation award.
Why do you need a participation award? If you're at recess, why do you need a participation?
These are children.
In fifth grade, did you get a participation award at recess?
I probably did. I don't remember.
No, I'm saying right now,
I got plenty of awards, and some of those awards was just for showing up.
Yeah, nah.
Like, yeah, you have to encourage kids, Steve. You can't push them away from activities. Like, there are kids that are just out there because the parents want to live their dreams through the kids.
Yeah.
And that's projection. Like you said, I want you to win. I want you to do all that. Like, what if he doesn't want to win? What if he wants to be out there just having fun as a kid?
And I don't want y'all to take my words and just like, oh, it's on me of like wanting him to win. No. This is something that we had a conversation about. I was like, all right, do you want to be competitive? Because I think it's the conversation first. If the kid is into it, and if the kid is wanting to do it, my son wants me to push him. Like, Dad, let's go out and I want to pitch. Can you show me? Like I need to make sure that I'm right. Like he has practice today. Yesterday, we're at home. He's like, hey, I want to go out here and make sure I'm right for practice. I'm excited about practice. Like I'm ready to go to practice today. I can't wait to go out there and work on pitching. Like he just has that competitive edge. And I asked him like, hey, do you want me to push it? How do you want this to go? And he's like, my goal is to be the best one out there.
Yeah, and then you have people on the opposite end of that spectrum.
So and that's the whole thing. So then you're at recess. So then you don't need a participation trophy.
But why wouldn't you want to encourage kids?
Yeah, go encourage them to go out there and have fun. Yeah, but why do you need a trophy for that?
You don't need a trophy.
That's what they're saying. Like you don't need one. Ban it. Get rid of them.
This is not what they're saying.
Get rid
Steve.
of it.
This is not what they're saying, Steve.
Get rid of it.
No. Like participation trophies are to encourage kids with a good job. Like when a kid strikes out, do you like as a coach, are you gonna fold your arms and turn the other way?
That's not me. Nah. That's not me. But we're not giving them a participation trophy.
So you're not encouraging kids.
We're encouraging them, but like there's a difference.
But what does a participation trophy look like? I haven't seen these. I've seen participation awards on a piece of paper that says, "Hey, good season, good job, thanks for coming out."
No, we're not giving. No, that's you're getting.
You can't thank people.
You can thank them, but we're not giving all these kids what you used to get for reading books. We're not giving y'all like Pizza Hut coupons. So, we're out there to win. Like
what's the difference between thanks for participating in books versus sports?
That's different. That's cool.
You can't make books competitive.
I don't know. Can you?
You can.
You can't. Oh, okay.
I can say, I read more books than you.
Okay. I'd be like, all right, cool. Like I don't want a trophy for that. That'd be me. Okay, you say you won, but then that'd be like me getting a participation award for reading. I don't want that.
Well, you get a grade, so that's like a participation award.
Yeah. But at the end of the day,
exactly. Like what?
At the end of the day, you don't have to like give a participation for a recreational activity.
At the end of the day, again, how we talked about these biased people that sit in these positions in government. They just want control over people. Like
I'm with them. Like at this point right here, like you don't have to. And we talk about we talk about this all the time. I don't want my kid to get one of those participation awards. Like, no.
But what if your kid?
If you're not first, you're last.
But what if your kid wants one? Why is it all about what you want? You're the parent, not even playing the game.
My son don't even want they try to give them. They got third place last season baseball tournament. They got third place, and they gave all the kids like these little medals.
So why didn't you throw it away?
These kids, my son did. He didn't want it. Like all the kids on this team, and they're all like, I'm not just singing aloud my son. I just know it because we have the conversations. But all the kids are like mad, and they don't want they're like, what is this? We don't want to hold the runner-up banner. Like they didn't want to take the pictures, nothing. They all wanted to just leave and be done with it because they want to win.
So now they have poor sportsmanship.
Yeah, I guess.
And that's at the discretion of the team and the players.
So
I feel like why ban it across the board? Like Q said, there are certain players that it might not be their whole bread and butter. Like, yeah, they can be mad. Cool. If you want to throw it away, personally, same thing. Like at home, there was not third place trophies hanging up on the wall. Like that's just not what we do around here. Yeah. But that was in our home. So each home has a different dynamic, like Q said. If other homes want to embrace that, okay. Don't put it on the shelf then. Literally, if that's you don't have to make it ban it, just don't put it on the shelf in your house then.
And that's literally all this is. This is just this is literally this is just an attack on people that want to thank kids and congratulate them for finishing a season. Like all a championship is just a piece of paper that says you won a game.
And we're talking about individually. So if that parent individually wants to thank their kid and do all the hoorah of finishing the season, yeah, Johnny, we finished our season. Take that little butt to Dairy Queen. Go get some ice cream. We're not giving participation trophies.
Well, no, that's illegal because you're thanking them. You're giving them something for participating.
No,
you can't do that.
We're talking about
you can't award. No, you can't award them with dessert. What do you mean, Steve?
That's whoever that parent is. That's their priority. That's their prerogative of like, all right, I'm taking my kid to get ice cream because they finished the season.
Talk about a free country.
Yeah, nah.
It's a free country, but you can't celebrate kids.
We're not rewarding mediocrity. I'm sorry.
Who says it's mediocrity?
Emphasis on in your home.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like you get these parents who and that have kids. When you get older, do you get a participation trophy for showing up to work on time?
We're talking about kids,
but they get older. Well, you gotta train them young.
Okay, the rules change when you're an adult.
No, you gotta learn at some point, man. Like when you get older, you ain't gonna have participation trophies.
So just take it away when they get home or whatever. Why does it have to be across the board?
And why does that have to be a law? Like, why does that have to be a law to ban?
Yeah, so Jazz, your mom on here, Lisa Palmer, she said, fact, you win and lose at times in life. Why not teach them that early in life? Teach kids how to bounce back and deal with the loss instead of giving them participation trophy. Thank you.
How does that teach
Mic
you?
Drop.
How does a thank you for coming out do that?
You lost.
How does it teach you not? How does it teach you not to take a loss? Like how does that one thing teach you how to take a loss? I'm not understanding.
No, it's helping you accept a loss. We're not in accepting a loss business. Like we're winners. We're not accepting a loss. We're not accepting a loss. We're helping build confidence. Like man, you can't. Why give a kid a participation trophy after he just lost? So you gotta feel that.
Hold up, but wait a minute. So when the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl, should we take away their AFC Championship trophy because they didn't win the Super Bowl? Because losers shouldn't be celebrated like that.
The Super Bowl and the AFC Championship, two different games.
It's two different games.
Oh. Yeah, you got a AFC Championship.
It's in the NFL, but it's two different games.
It is two different games. I mean, we're talking about they didn't get a participation trophy for losing.
You should just get one trophy for winning, Steve.
You do. That's the Super Bowl trophy. That's the ring. Did any of the Chiefs players get rings?
There's an AFC Championship trophy. What do you mean?
That's not the Super Bowl though, Q. That's not the totality of the season. That's a tournament within the season. If that makes sense. You lose the AFC Championship game, you're not getting anything.
If you lose the Super Bowl, you shouldn't get anything.
You don't get nothing.
You still get the AFC Championship
But that's
trophy.
a tournament within the season. That's one tournament within the season. So after you win your tournament, you go to play another game, which is the biggest game in the world for your season. That's the totality of the season.
And they shouldn't get a check for losing that game too, because now a check is a participation
but then
award.
that's not a participation award. That's working. Like that's going out there putting your. Now we in a whole different conversation because now you put your body on the line. Like that's different. Anyway, I'm with them. Ban them.
All right. Now, MLB streaming viewership up 40% on opening day in its first season with the pitch clocks. Steve, you love this one, I know. Your thoughts on this
it's
one?
moving baseball right along. Like, I love it. It needed a little something to spice the game up, speed it up. Because, I mean, a lot of times, y'all talk about all the time, like, you hate watching baseball. Like,
Facts.
It's like watching paint dry. But this helps, I think this helps the regular watcher of the game. It's like, all right, he's on the clock. He better make sure he gets this pitch in. And we got to 8th inning, and it was only like an hour and 45 minutes into the game. I'm like, hour and 45 minutes of the game. Sorry. I'm like, wow, Jazz, we almost started at 3. It's 4:45. We're good.
I loved it. I'm here for it. Like, we're not stuck here for 5 hours. No.
Yeah. I think speeding up the game helps it, but also what hinders the game is it not being as exciting as these other international leagues that can hit a home run and do a slow walk. They can do their taunting like this. I mean, this is everything that the women's game needs. Yeah. Baseball needs it. Like baseball needs the trash talk. They need all of that. And the pitch clock is not going to change that. There's just a total culture shift that needs to happen in baseball before it's cool. And
true.
But I think agreeing with you, I think it was headed that direction.
It wasn't.
But then when you get like Tatis Jr. who gets caught with PEDs. I mean, the height of baseball at that time last year, I think it was headed in the right direction. I mean, you had Mookie Betts playing great. We do have a Dodgers fan in here. But then you get Tatis Jr. playing great. I mean, you get all these guys who are like moving the game forward, and then he gets hit with that. Knocks us 10 steps backwards.
I still don't think that's it. I think
man.
I think it's the culture of the game. Like when one pitcher beans a player, then the next time, half of the inning you come out, the other pitcher has to bean the player. Like that just it doesn't make sense. And it just takes away the fun out of the game. And that's why we're talking about more people watching it just to see this pitch clock. But then when you start seeing the pettiness between players and, I don't like him because he hit a home run. Like, yeah, we're not going to watch that. We're going to go watch women's soccer.
I like that. Now we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll discuss Cam Newton provides list of QBs he's willing to play behind. Keep it locked in. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at KCWeSpin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
FPS Security is here to secure greater KC protection where you need them most. Social events, birthday parties, corporate events, weddings, small businesses, and more. Call FPS Security at 816-379-3600 or visit FPSSecurityKC.com. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Reliable, fast, and professional service.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors. Classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com. Purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to The W with Walls and the crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. Now, Cam Newton provides a list of QBs he's willing to play behind. He named Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Justin Fields, Watson, some others. Y'all's thoughts on this one?
I watched this whole little thing that he did on YouTube, and I'd advise people to go and watch it. Like, this is, if you don't understand where Cam Newton is coming from, of course he did his pro day at Auburn, and he really wants to be picked up by a team, and he talked about the people that he will play behind. And a lot of folks were on there. Well, what about, you mentioned all these quarterbacks? Why didn't you mention Patrick Mahomes? And he went in to say, like, he has a lot of respect for Pat, but the people that he didn't mention other than Pat, because Patrick, of course, is in his job. Like, there's no one that's coming in and taking Patrick's job.
Yeah.
All these other guys he has a relationship with. A lot of them, the younger quarterbacks, play in Cam Newton 7 on 17 as they were growing up. So he has a relationship with them that way. And they're like, okay, well, why do you have Josh Allen on there? Well, the Buffalo Bills offensive staff coached him at Carolina. So he has a relationship there. So that means all the other quarterbacks on this list, other than Patrick, that are not on this list, other than Patrick Mahomes, he said he can go in there and take their job. He feels like he can. And I was like, dang, Dak, dang. You look at Mac Brown.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. You look at all these other guys. Cam feels like he can go in there and take the job. So I just feel like I liked what he said. If he had a lot of honesty and sincerity in there, and he was like, I also never said that I could not be a backup.
Yeah, because I mean, the narratives that are put out there, and it's a lot of media types that do that. So again, it's the same conversation we had with Angel Reese. Black quarterbacks are highly disrespected, and they have to go and do these media and press runs just to say, like, oh, I'll be a backup, oh, I'll do X, Y, and Z and all that. But it's really ridiculous when you have a league with like Drew Locks running around. Yeah, I knew you were gonna do that. But yes, you have a league like that where guys that look like the owner, they're gonna get the check over the guys that, again, have the bravado, that are gonna dance after touchdowns, that are gonna wear crazy outfits that so-called distract from the team. Like, it's just a lot of unwritten rules that happen, and it forces these guys to do these things. Like, Colin Kaepernick was the same way. Like, he had to sift through all the rumors and say, well, none of that is true, and I never asked for anything. Like, I'm just asking for a shot. And Cam Newton is doing the same thing. And it's sad that you have players like the Drew Locks. I mean, all the way back to the Trent Dilfers. Like, you have guys like that
It's not like Drew Lock.
that doesn't have the talent to cut it and to help your organization win. But I mean, we know the NFL is not about winning. The owners just want their participation trophy and making a profit.
Thanks. Now, the NWSL announces Bay Area expansion, new club planning to be $125 million investment. Steve, your thoughts on this one?
I mean, I love it. Just the fact that they're moving the needle forward too. We got a chance to talk to the NWSL owner at Kelce current home opener, and she was just talking about the advancement of the league. The current had 14,000 fans at their game, which was a record, and just talking about how much that they're moving the game forward. So I love it.
Definitely, and I mean, of course, we see it right here in our own city, the investment in women's sports. So to see them expand too, I think that's a huge deal. I mean, I know there's been a couple other leagues and things like that have flopped because they are so small and they haven't really reached out. So I think reaching out to other areas is going to be huge.
Think you can go try?
No, I'm retired. Fully retired.
All right.
Yeah. Jim Trotter declined severance package that included NDA.
Love it.
I love it too. I do.
Yeah, I love it because I mean they try to do them like Colin Kaepernick. Here, we'll settle you out for the discrimination you faced, and that way you can't talk about it. And for him to decline it, I'm just waiting for it may not be a tell-all book, but I hope he writes a long form article that talks about the discrepancies and especially in racial diversity. That he was fired for. So yeah, it's great. And I hope he gets the participation trophy of a check and a big bag to tell his story, because I mean we know there's some teeth behind the allegations that he made.
Definitely. And we're gonna take a quick break. Coming up, we'll dive into our Hate It or Love It segment. Keep it locked in. This is W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
It's that time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
Starting off our sneakers of the week, we have the Air Jordan 2 Low Craft Seersuckers.
Love them.
Not liking those.
The Jordan Tatum 1 Zoos.
Yeah. I think with these, you just got to remember, a lot of people didn't like the Jason Tatum kicks, but right now he's one of the best in the league, and you can't go away from him. You really can't.
Yeah, no, these are trash still.
You are crazy.
The Nike Air Foam Posite 1 PE White Black.
Back to the OGs. I love them.
Good.
My son asked me for some of these the other day. I said, no way. $225 for them to turn brown on the bottom because you're outside playing basketball at recess. Nope.
Yeah, probably the best shoe on the list today.
Really? I think my favorites are the Nike Dunk Low ATL.
Love them. These are a collab with Killer Mike in Atlanta. And they released these. I love these too. These are my favorites.
Yeah. Definitely for a summer shoe.
Bottom row works out. Top row, throw it in the trash.
Facts. I agree. Babe Ruth bat from 1921 sold for a record $1.85 million at auction. Hate it or love it?
Love it.
Look, love to see black men getting participation trophies or checks.
Facts. John Elway splits with Denver Broncos after serving as consultant. Says they're in great hands. Hate it or love it?
Ruin my guy Drew Lock's career. Get him out of there.
He ruined Drew Lock's career.
Get him out of there.
He was the problem.
Yeah.
MLB to test a new enhanced grip baseball in the Southern League in 2023. Hate it or love it?
Enhanced grip. Sounds like I hate it for right now. I thought the scenes were an enhanced grip, but okay.
Yeah, it's like all sticky stuff or whatever.
Like even baseball, basically. Now, Oakland Athletics stripped down roster was outdrawn by 11 AAA teams Tuesday. 8 or 11. Steve?
It just shows that the Oakland A's, they need to fix it to get whatever problem they have going on there. Because, they just need to fix it.
11?
Yeah, that sounds bad.
UConn's Jordan Hawkins excited for championship celebration with cousin LSU's Angel Reese. The cookout is going to be lit. Hate it or love it.
Look, it definitely is. I want to invite to that family reunion.
Man. Let's hear from Jordan Hawkins.
Thanks for all the kids from Gainesburg, Maryland that didn't think they could do it. I did it. Now you can do it, man. I swear to God.
You and Angel Reese did it.
Yes, absolutely. Man, Angel showed paved the way, man. We did it. And we did it.
It's incredible that you both won national championships. Did you hear from her before this game?
Absolutely. I mean, I wish her luck. Man, I'm going to see her in Maryland soon, so hey, the cookout going to be lit.
You can show off your rings together.
Yes. I'm going to go cut the net now. All right.
So the cookout gonna be lit.
Reggie Bullock owns an island in Belize and named it after himself. Hate it or love it.
Yeah, super dope. Super dope. Would y'all buy an island? Like, that's something you talk about like in elementary school. Like, man, I'm gonna own me an island. It's gonna be called whatever, my name, whatever. What y'all think about that?
I definitely would, especially if I had the money for it.
My rules and everything else, like.
Yeah.
And mine's like invite only. Like, you gotta ride a jet ski to get to it or something. Invite only, ducked off. So it's really your only rules for real.
Don't send Steve an invite because he has to win something before he gets that.
But if I lose, I don't want to come because I don't want it to be a participation trophy.
Now, we do have a talk about it this week. Alabama man documents his quest to eat Chipotle for 1,000 days straight.
1,000 days straight? Chipotle, yep. How many years is that?
That's 3.
3 years?
3 years?
Yeah. No.
You could come up with a lot of different combinations, but I don't think I could go for 3 years straight.
Yeah, I think his name is Dylan Warham. He's already reached almost 500 days in his journey. So you guys can check him out on TikTok. He said he's already been doing. He was eating it 4 days in a row anyway. So he's like, let's just try to make something out of this. So he's at 500 days eating Chipotle. How many different like combinations can you get at Chipotle?
A ton. With the quesadilla, with the salad, you can switch the tacos, you can switch it up.
But at some point your body's gonna shut down because that's all you're eating. Like you're not getting any sugar, you're not getting I wonder, is he eating anything else? Or is he just eating Chipotle?
I mean, he's probably eating some other stuff, but you wouldn't catch me out here.
I don't know about y'all, but my stomach would be tore up.
He could have bought him a Chipotle restaurant by the time he's finished and how much money he's spending. 1,000 a day, 1,000 times $10.
Might as well. Maybe he will own one. Maybe that's his quest to own one. That's what he has to do.
Hope they gave him the bag. Well, we appreciate everyone who joined in on today's show. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe us on all of our social media channels. Until next week, we are out of here. Go watch Tiger Woods. Peace.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show. 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.